Sister, personally, I would like to tell you that I love everything related to the Lord very much. I deeply love his institutions, such as the Church, the Maria Luisa de Moreno International Foundation, and the Colombian political party, Mira. I have a very special love for Mira, so I would like to ask you, sister, how can we ask God to touch people's hearts and allow them to understand the work related to Mira? In Colombia, as elections approach, we have volunteers in our locations who want to share more about this work, but we see brothers and sisters who sometimes do not stop, even for a moment, to learn about the work we do. Sister, thank you very much.
People generally have a tendency to shy away from politics. Many have had unpleasant experiences with leaders, with political parties, and these scars remain with them. Unfortunately, these scars are also present in our congregation, this fear, this disbelief, because people say, I don't believe in that, because they think it's wrong, that it is a sin. They have such a misguided concept that they ask, how can politics and religion be mixed? This concept is mistaken because politics and religion have always gone hand in hand since Adam and Eve. From the time of Adam and Eve, when humankind began, there were communities, and in each community there was a ruler who was a king. They were the ones who judged and served in all roles, as priests, as kings, as patriarchs, as rulers. They did everything. They made their laws. When God formed the people of Israel, he gave them their laws. So God would say, you must comply with all these regulations, all this law. Whoever does not comply is an offender and will be punished. And the Lord also appointed his priests. So generations passed and the world continued until there came a time when society, when people decided to separate religion from politics, even though they had always governed together in unison. Then they decided that they needed to separate. All right, that's fine. They separated. Politics on one side, religion on the other. But we fell into something that God wants us to do. And in our case, without knowing it and even being a bit skeptical about politics, it happened to me. I never cast a vote for anyone. And when the Lord began to speak to us and began to show and reveal that he wanted us to work in the political sphere, in the political field, that we had to work, that we had to get involved in this role, because God wanted to demonstrate honesty to people, at least in this country, to show that there are honest people who work with love for others. This is what God has taught us. He gave us guidelines. He has taught us and continues to teach us. So even without seeking it or being involved in these matters, the Lord placed us in them. And out of obedience, we press on and work diligently. And we have truly seen results because the other leaders or the other political parties have noticed how we, our party, are responsible, serious, honest people who are not in it for the money, who are not there to bribe or to be bribed, but rather to do things that are legal, that are fair. And so people see this example. And this is what God wants. God does not want people to become someone who reaches a very high position just to earn millions and millions. No, that is not what God wants. God wants to show honesty and integrity in human beings, showing that these qualities do exist in the political field. That is what God wants to show. Here in the church, people from all walks of life come with all kinds of beliefs and as supporters of any political party. Many come seeking only prophecy or God's blessings without paying attention to the doctrine or to what God teaches. And when God speaks, teaches, or gives instructions, they often ignore the call to obey him. But we know we must obey God and seek to please him. Even if I don't like it, I want to please God and I get involved. And I do it, Lord, because you have said it. Since you said it, I will do it, Lord, even if I don't agree, even if I don't like it, because I see that people lie, people promise and tell many lies. But Lord, as you said it, I will support that. It is your word. If all believers thought this way and understood it this way, they would receive benefits and God's blessings in many aspects of their lives. But because of negligence, as there is negligence in many, they say, no, I'm going with Mr. So-and-so. I've always been with so-and-so. I've always been with the purple party, with the white party, and that's it, and they won't change me from that. And then They come to the church, oh no, I want prophecy because I want God to heal me, bless me, make promises to me, give me gifts. But it turns out that God wants them to help and support the party. So they say, no, not me, because I'm with the white party or I'm with the purple party. So God is watching that in the person. And God does not give them his blessings because they are stubborn, rebellious, unbelieving, or perhaps hard-hearted. And that is why you, sister, see what you see at the door. That is what you see at the door. So do not worry. Do not suffer or feel frustrated about it, because it is God who brings things to pass in the end. God is the one who establishes his will. He establishes his will. If God wants them to win, well, he allows them to win. And if God wants something different, saying, no, at this moment I am not going to allow them to win, remain stagnant, well, they will remain stagnant, but God's will is done. But the most beautiful and wonderful thing is that we obey and always align ourselves with God, with pleasing God. Lord, if this is to your liking, if you were the one who commanded this party to start, then Lord, I will support it with my vote, because you said it, Lord. It is as simple as that. So God will be pleased, and he will say, this person is being obedient in the small things, so they will also be obedient in the big things, and I will bless them greatly. Therefore, brothers and sisters, do not worry. It is God who has the final say. But we must learn that when God speaks and when he gives orders, we must follow them to the letter. We need to align ourselves with the Lord if we want to succeed in our spiritual and material lives. That is it, brothers and sisters.